Hello and welcome to another session of the My Solo 401k Financial, My Community Daily Webinar Series. Thank you so much for joining. We're excited today to discuss why a basic Schwab Solo 401k isn't enough, how to unlock advanced features. We see we've got a question already. Thank you so much for bringing it. If you have more questions, please don't hesitate to chat it over so we can be sure to get to them all. We just want to test the audio here. It sounds like it's working, but just to be super careful, like one other thing. Thanks so much for your patience. Little connection issues. Okay, we're going to double check the audio here. 1 second. Sounds like it's working. So, okay, great. Yeah, as always, the presentation is being provided for educational purposes only and should not be construed as tax, legal, or investment advice, nor as a solicitation. When making an investment decision, please consult with your tax attorney and financial professional. This is our second session of the day. We go live every day. We're here to answer questions. We like to bring content as well. So we're definitely going to start out with the questions, though, because we want to use this as a chance to answer the questions that you have, cover the topics that you want to cover. As always, our goal is to help you stop overpaying taxes and start building real retirement wealth. So again, please use the chat to ask questions on today's topic or anything else. As we go through it, if the information is helping you feel more confident about your retirement future, please do take 1 second to like and subscribe, because that'll help us to get the word out to other solopreneurs, other advisors like you who might be looking to secure their retirement future. Okay, let's start out with Nick. And thanks so much for the feedback on the audio. Thanks for bringing the question, Nick. I'm interested in the auto enrollment credit, $1,500 for 3 years. Yeah, that's right. $500 per year for 3 consecutive years for a total of $1,500. If I was to open an account with you next week, for example, would I be eligible to claim the first $500 for 2026? Yes, it would start with 2026. It would start with the year that you established the plan with us in. And keep in mind that those tax credits, first of all, we were the first solo 401k provider to offer a plan that's eligible for the tax credits generally. So we're the leaders in the space. Now you see other providers that are rolling out their plans. We rolled ours out in 2024. Now others are rolling theirs out 2 years later, which is great to get the word out, because this can be a powerful way for solopreneurs to be able to afford to set up a solo 401k. And so you would get the credit, really your business would start to get the credits for when it establishes the plan, and then for 2 more years after that, as long as it maintains the plan. Now, it can't just be any solo 401k plan. It's got to be a plan like the one offered by my Solo 401k Financial that includes the automatic enrollment feature. So that automatic enrollment feature needs to be turned on. The required notices need to be prepared. So when we create the plan documents, we automatically will create it with the required feature, the required notices. And this is not just for new plans, even basic plans that are upgraded to our plan, those self-employed individuals would be eligible to claim the credits. Now, the auto enrollment feature will establish a default 3% contribution percentage, but the solopreneur, as the participant, has the right to opt out of the default, which will then allow them to contribute in whichever schedule or amount they prefer, of course, subject to the limits of the deadlines. But just because they exercise their right to opt out of the default contribution percentage doesn't mean that the plan doesn't include the auto enrollment feature. It still does. Therefore, even though the solopreneur opts out of the default contribution percentage, the self-employed business can still claim the credit. So there's no requirement to even make contributions to be eligible to claim the credit. So it's a great feature. Again, it's a great thing that Congress and the government did to encourage businesses to open up plans or expand plans. Because again, it's not just for new plans, even existing plans that are upgraded to include the feature would be eligible. So that would be for 2026, 2027, and then 2028 for a total of $1,500. Great question, Nick. Thank you so much for bringing it. So now, again, if there's more questions, go ahead and chat it over. Let's go through some of these slides around the topic of the day, which is why a basic Schwab Solo 401k isn't enough, how to unlock advanced features. And as you can see from the image, the advanced features we're talking about are the mega backdoor Roth, $1,500 in tax credits, in-plan Roth conversions, just to name a few. There's other features that are available with our plan that are not available with your basic brokerage plans, like the one offered by the one offered by Schwab. So we're comparing Schwab's basic plan versus getting an advanced plan for my Solo 401k Financial. But it's noteworthy you can still have the accounts at Schwab. So we want to talk about unlocking the full power of the advanced Solo 401k versus a basic Schwab brokerage plan. We already gave the disclosure. Just a second on eligibility. Not everyone is eligible. You need to be self-employed with no non-owner, non-spouse, full-time W-2 employees. So it's not for everyone, but certainly there's a large population of people that qualify because you could have a side hustle. In other words, you could have a W-2 day job and have a solo 401k for your side hustle. Or you could just be fully self-employed. As long as you're reporting that earned self-employment income and there's no non-owner, non-spouse, full-time W-2 employees working for any business owned by you or a spouse, if any. So that's what gets you into the game. Now, that's what allows you to set up a solo 401k generally. But it matters who you set it up with in terms of what your features are. Because if you go to Schwab, for example, and open up their solo 401k plan directly, that means you're getting Schwab's documents plus Schwab provides the accounts. But Schwab will also open up accounts for people that bring their own plan documents. So my Solo 401k Financial, we're a Solo 401k plan provider. So in other words, we provide the documents, and our documents are going to support all the advanced features that you could want, right? Whether it's the mega backdoor Roth or the tax credits or the in-plan Roth conversion or the 5500 easy filing support, et cetera, et cetera. So if you just go direct to Schwab, you're going to use their documents. So it's going to be very limited, very basic, very vanilla. But what's great is that they'll still open up accounts for people to bring their own documents. So with our plan, you've got freedom of institutional choice. In other words, freedom of where the accounts are opened up at, the holding accounts. So you can separate who the plan provider is from who the account provider is. You can get the plan for my Solo 401k Financial, but have your accounts at Schwab or another brokerage like Fidelity, like E-Trade, or a bank or a credit union. So the documents matter because the documents dictate what you can do. So if you have that basic Schwab plan documents, you can't do it. You can't invest in alternative investments like real estate or crypto, et cetera. You can't make mega backdoor Roth Solo 401k contributions. So that's a very popular strategy where customers are able to contribute a relatively high amount to a Roth account. For example, for 2026, if you're age 60 to 63, you can contribute up to $83,250 where the funds end up in your Roth account for 2026, assuming you've got the self-employment income to justify those contributions. If you have a basic Schwab Solo 401k plan, you can't take a 401k participant loan. Whereas with our Solo 401k plan document, you most certainly can. So not only that, we prepare the required loan documents that are needed to be prepared if you want to be able to take a 401k participant loan, where you can literally take money out of your Solo 401k, use it for any purpose whatsoever. It's not subject to penalties. It's not subject to taxes, as long as it's documented as a loan. Again, we prepare the loan documents and paid back according to the required repayment schedule. The tax credits. So in order to be eligible for the $1,500 in tax credits, you need to have certain features and notices in the plan documents, which Schwab's basic plan documents don't support. 5500 easy preparation. So Schwab is not going to file your 5500 EZ for you. So a 5500 EZ will apply once the value of the plan, including the value of any defined benefit plan that you might also have, once the total value exceeds $250,000. So with my Solo 401k Financial, we do file the 5500 EZ, and we don't charge any additional fee for that. Like, we prepare it under the electronic filing system to make it easy for the customer. Customers and their advisors just have to let us know once the value exceeds $250,000 so that we can add their plan to the queue to take them through that 5500 EZ filing process. So we've talked at the outset about the tax credits. We talked about it again. Again, you need to have the documents that enable you to be able to claim those tax credits. $500 per year for 3 consecutive years. The impact is tremendous. For example, for us, $1,500 is going to more than cover our fees for the first 7 years. For my Solo 401k Financial, we charge $650 as an initial fee. That includes the $525 establishment fee plus the first $125 annual fee. Then starting 12 months later, we charge our $125 annual fee. So if you added up our fees over the first 7 years, it wouldn't even amount to $1,500. True investment choice. It's another great use case for our customers where they're investing their Solo 401k funds in real estate. Could be commercial real estate, raw land, residential, cryptocurrency. So they're opening up accounts, for example, at a cryptocurrency exchange, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. Private equity. So this could be pre-IPO stock, private equity, startups, etc. So you get that full investment choice. The mega backdoor Roth. So again, we talked about this is one of the top strategies, but you need to have the documents that allow you to do that. That's the limitation with the basic Schwab plan. So making a mega backdoor Roth contribution is a 2-step process. You're first making a voluntary after-tax contribution to take advantage of those much higher voluntary after-tax contribution limits. And then you're transferring the funds over to a Roth account. Could be a Roth Solo 401k, or you could transfer it out of the plan to a Roth IRA so that now you've got that potential for tax-free growth, because it's going to be like any other money in a Roth account where it has that tax-free growth potential. Borrow from yourself, right? You need to have a plan that allows you to take a 401k loan. The one offered by my Solo 401k Financial most certainly does. That's a top use case. So you can literally withdraw funds from your Solo 401k. You could borrow up to 50% of the balance, not to exceed $50,000. Now, it does need to be documented as a loan. My Solo 401k Financial will prepare the loan documents within 1 business day once clients just submit our online form to prompt us to do it. Then it needs to be paid back according to those loan terms. So it's either paid back in monthly or quarterly payments, equal payments of principal and interest. The interest is either prime plus 1% or a CD rate plus 2%, with those payments spread over a 5-year term. Ongoing compliance support. So a 401k, you can think of it as a living thing, right? It needs to be kept in compliance. As the law changes, the documents will need to be updated. They'll need to be updated regardless every 6 years. So we handle that automatically, proactively for our customers. But there could be other things that require ongoing compliance support. We already talked about the loan document preparation. But in addition, once the value of the plan exceeds $250,000, there's going to be an annual informational tax filing requirement, which is referred to as a Form 5500 EZ. So we prepare that Form 5500 EZ for customers and their advisors who just let us know once the value exceeds $250,000. Keep in mind, if you have a defined benefit plan, you have to aggregate the value of the defined benefit plan to determine if you've exceeded the limit. Then we'll prepare it under the electronic filing system. We'll take the client through the electronic filing system process. In addition, there might be scenarios where a 1099-R needs to be prepared. Mega backdoor Roth is one of the top scenarios. So when you make that mega backdoor Roth contribution, remember it's a 2-step process. You're first making a voluntary after-tax contribution. So you're taking advantage of the higher voluntary after-tax limit. Those voluntary after-tax contributions go into a separate voluntary after-tax account. Now, that voluntary after-tax contribution, that's not reportable by the plan. It doesn't even need to be reported on the personal or the business tax return. But the subsequent transfer from the after-tax Solo 401k account to a Roth Solo 401k or a Roth IRA does need to be reported on a Form 1099-R. So customers and their advisors, just let us know. Just give us the information we need to prepare the 1099-R. Then we'll prepare that for no additional charge. Okay, great. Let's take a stop. Let's take a beat. Then we'll come back to the slides. And I see we got a question. It looks like there's a question about a 1099-R. We will flag your email here 1 second and follow up with you shortly after the webinar. You're just in the queue. I'm certain, but we'll pull it up so we'll get you a quick response. And I see your email. Okay, so we will follow up with you shortly after this webinar. Thank you so much for flagging it. All right, so if this is helping you feel more confident about your future in terms of your retirement, please like this video. It helps us to get the word out to others like yourself. We also invite you to subscribe to our channels, whether you're watching us on Instagram or LinkedIn or X or YouTube. If you subscribe, you'll get notifications of when we go live. We do go live every day, so that way you can hear the content that we come to bring. You can come and ask questions. So it's just a great opportunity to learn and just learn from others, etc. We also want to invite you to our community. We have the largest community of solopreneurs, of advisors, just interested parties around these topics. We've got over 30,000 members, which translates to vibrant forums. We have a library of videos and webinars. So there's just a ton of ways to learn, a ton of ways to share the knowledge. It's very easy to join. You can join quickly and easily at mysolofor01k.net/my-community. It's free to join. All are welcome. So if you want to take advantage of these advanced features and you have a solo 401k already, but a basic plan, you can sign up quickly and easily at mysolofor01k.net. Just click on open account, then click on solo 401k. It's just 10 simple questions. If you already have a plan, one of the questions will be whether or not you already have a plan, in which case you would say yes, specify where it is, specify the original effective date, which you can find in the adoption agreement, or you can send a secure message to your current plan provider to determine that information. We'll need that date in order to draft the plan documents as a restatement. Once we receive the information, the answer to those 10 questions, and payment is made, we prepare the documents to restate the plan within the same business day. It's the same application as if you're setting up a brand new plan as well. You would just say no to the question about whether or not you already have an existing solo 401k. But again, submit the information, payment is made. We prepare the documents within the same business day, and then we guide you through the process, for example, to open up accounts at the bank or brokerage of choice. Oh, thank you so much for your kind words. We do appreciate it. All right. Well, it looks like hopefully the audio improved. We switched up the source of the audio. It looks like that's it for today's solo 401k session. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Please continue to engage. Like I mentioned, if you like the video, that'd be greatly appreciated. Please subscribe. Just please continue to join and engage. We'll be back here tomorrow with more content to help you secure your retirement. So until next time, take care.